What's up, everybody? This is NealReal, and this is the father you didn't have. Wisdom from an elder about relationships and happiness in life. Like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get right into this topic. How to tell if someone is unhealthy for you. Some people call these people toxic, but I'm going to be giving you the game on how to tell. So we all know, and I've been mentioning on this channel, that you have 10 human needs. It basically boils down to knowing those intimately. You got to really know what all of those really mean and how they feel and how they look. Because what I see often is people telling you, here's 14 tips to see if you're in a toxic relationship, or here's 41, or it's always this number and all these specific things that the person is doing. And unfortunately, you can't remember all of that. And I would prefer not to do that to people and constantly say specific stuff, because I can give you an exhaustive list, at least I think I can, but there's still going to be something that an unhealthy person does that you don't know because it wasn't on the list. So it's better to know exactly how you should be treated, how you should be loved, if you want to use that word. And once you know that, anything they do that's in opposition to that, you'll know, okay, something's off, it's wrong. But most people, unfortunately, don't know what they need. They don't know the 10 human needs. They don't know they need affection. They don't know they need admiration, which includes respect and the acceptance and approval of their uniqueness as a person. They don't know that. And so they be putting up with people that's toxic, not knowing that this is why they're unhappy. You see? So you need to know exactly what you need as a human being. And once you do, anybody that's not giving you that, you can tell, okay, I'm not going to deal with you in this area. Or if they're giving you the exact opposite, you can say, okay, I got to get rid of this person. They are toxic. They are unhealthy for me. All right. So the first thing you can do, if you feel like the reciprocation is unequal. Now, most people know they got to give you something to get something back. Some of the worst people will try to get everything from you and not give you anything back. But people know they got to give something. But when you're in a relationship with somebody, this could be a business, this could be, like I said, a sexual relationship, a so-called friendship, and you're getting the bare minimum from them, but then you're giving them a lot more in return. So say, for instance, affection. You give out affection, but they sometimes are cold, they barely call, or let's shoot to attention. They barely reach out to you, but you're reaching out to them more often than they reach out to you. Either they just don't see you like that, or they're not being the friend that you want them to be. If you feel like you need attention, you would like them to reach out to you often, and you reach out to them often, but they don't respond, then that's an unequal reciprocation. They're doing it, but it's not equal. I would like to have more enthusiasm coming from my so-called friend, if that's what you want. Now, you don't need that amount of attention. Like I said, some introverted people, they don't need you calling them every day. You can hit them up once a month. But an extroverted person may want to hear from you every week at least. So it depends on the needs of the person, and just sharing that with them and saying, yo, I feel like I talk to you more than you talk to me. Give me some more of that energy. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's the personality. You just have to understand that. And then sometimes it's just simply the person is toxic, or they're unhealthy, just not giving you that because they don't want to, because they don't see you like that. They're just using you for something. And that's when you have to say, okay, this person is not somebody I want in my life. This is similar to the next thing, is similar to the first thing. You invest, but you get very little return. Okay. So there are sometimes they can't help you right now. Maybe they need you the most right now. Maybe something happened and you gave them a lot of human support. You gave them a lot of emotional support. You were there for them. You drove them somewhere. You bought food for them, and then later on in life, when you need help, they don't even do any of that. Now, you did all this stuff for them in the past. This is kind of like an investment, right? Because, everybody needs these things, right? And now you're down, you need your friend or your friends to come through and help you and look out for you. And here they come with, I can't do that. I'm over here, I'm busy, or they're nowhere to be found. That's an unequal relationship once again. You invested, but you didn't get nothing back, or you got very little in return. You see? So you say, is this person dependable? I have human needs. They have human needs. Why am I supporting their human needs, but they barely support my human needs? You see, everybody got these needs now. And I just want to say this. Don't let nobody tell you that your needs are not valid. That's what a lot of people do today. Your needs are not valid. Or you're too needy now, which is just an excuse for them not to give you what you want, but then take as much as they can from you. So you have to be mindful of that. Now, a person that is, when we talk about relationships, I'm talking about every relationship. Anytime you are relating to another human being, that is a relationship. If you check out at a grocery store and you see this same person, that's a relationship. Or just say you go to Target or you go to Best Buy, you have a relationship with that business. Okay. So finally, let's deal with the opposite of healthy human support. And this is how you know that this person is probably he shouldn't be in your life. Number one is affection. What's the opposite? So affection once again is a gentle, kind sense of fondness or liking. So what would be the opposite of that? Well, you feel a coldness coming from them. You feel like they don't even like you. You get a sense they don't like you, yet they so-called your friend, they're hanging around you, but you get this sense they don't like you. That's an indicator of an incompatible relationship. This person is unhealthy for you, because people that don't like you may try to undermine you and harm you at some point. So you don't want to deal with people like that. You want to always feel a fondness coming from them. Now, of course, if you did something to hurt them, or maybe perhaps they're going through something, but if you feel that energy coming from them to you in a cold manner, something cold, that's an indicator this person is off, and you need to check the box and say, this person ain't somebody I should be hanging around. Admiration, what is that? Once again, it is respect and warm approval. If you're being disrespected, any point in time in that relationship, you can check it. But if it happens, I would say more than once, and you've already mentioned, yo, man, that's disrespectful. What the fuck you doing? Even some things they just know is disrespectful. It's an indicator that this person is toxic or they are unhealthy for you, because they don't give out admiration. They don't respect you. If you are experiencing insults, if you feel like you're being put down or made to feel small, they don't respect your boundaries. If you mention some of your values or your goals and they say that's stupid, that ain't gonna work, that ain't happening, they want to kill your dreams, stuff like that, that's not a person that you should be around. So you have to know that you're supposed to be getting respect from your so-called friend and warm approval. Ain't nobody supposed to be trying to change you. If you have a friend that keeps trying to change you and tell you who you are should be different, or they try to project a construct onto you and tell you that you're something that you're not, that's an indicator of a person that shouldn't be in your life. Okay? Just know that. And like I said, your intuition will pick up on this, and you be like, man, something ain't right. Another one is attention. So it includes recognition. So a toxic person or an unhealthy person will not recognize your values, your gifts, your abilities, your the greatness about you. I've had people, relatives, who saw that I was well dressed. I got compliments the whole day, and then I get with them and they say something like nice sunglasses. And these sunglasses were some cheap $3 glasses I bought from the Dollar House or something. And it's like, I knew they were trying to avoid giving me a compliment. Like, they don't want to give me recognition for my flyness. So they say something like that, which sounds like a compliment, but those glasses are nothing compared to what was actually in front of you. The shoes, the slacks, the shirt, the haircut. So it's clear indication this person is trying not to give you recognition. So if you have a hater in your life, which is what we call them, that's an indicator of this is a bad relationship. You should not have that person in your life. You shouldn't have haters in your life, really. Don't deal with people like that. Back to attention. Does your friend give you attention? When you're out eating or hanging out, do they give you your undivided attention, or are they on their phone? When you call them, does it sound like they are listening, or are they doing something else? Like, these are indicators that the person may not be really into you like that, and they're not really your friend. They're just kind of dealing with you for what they can get out of you. And so that's an indicator of an unhealthy, incompatible relationship. So let's say they ignore you one day. Maybe you're out in public and they just ignore you, or they shun you in some kind of way. And they only did it because they were with somebody else, and they're from another social status, and they didn't want to look like they knew you. That's an indicator that this person is fake and phony. They're unhealthy, and they change up. They're not authentic. And this is not somebody you should have in your life as a so-called friend. Okay? This person is toxic. They're unhealthy. All right? Next, moving down to community. What is community? It's about connection, companionship, like-mindedness. So, if these people that you call your friends or whatever tend to not invite you places, you find out to the last minute that they're doing something but you weren't invited, you don't feel like they're on the same level with you as far as how y'all think. Maybe you share things about life, and then they always got some alternative view that's in opposition, which is okay, but they tend to put your idea down. That's an indicator that this person is not for you, because that goes back to respect. They should at least respect your opinion, not tear it down and say, oh, that ain't nothing, that ain't this and that ain't that. That's a lack of admiration. And so this person is showing you they're not like-minded. Let's say you like a certain music genre and certain artists, and they always say, I don't like none of them. They whack. It's how people say things that show you what they're about. You don't have to agree with your friends' list of artists, certain people, certain rappers or singers or whatever. But to say that they're all trash and weak and whack, especially when you didn't ask for their opinion in some cases, and knowing that you like those people and then they tear those people down, it's almost like they're tearing you down in some cases. And people know that. So if your friend actually loves you or respects you, they will just say, yeah, okay, I'm not really, I don't listen to them, but that's cool. They won't tear down that artist because they know that you like them. They don't have to say those things. You know what I'm saying? So going forward, here's some more for you. Emotional support. Can you talk to your friend about your issues without getting laughed at or given bad advice or told to just be strong and suck it up? Or some cases, they don't understand what you're going through, or they'll invalidate your feelings. You don't feel like that. You shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And sometimes, you may have a negative viewpoint and they're trying to tell you to be positive or something like that. There's something called toxic positivity too, where people are just forcing people to change how you think, even though the conditions are not that way, or put a smile on your face, even though you're not happy, or things of that nature. Those are things you have to look at and say, man, I don't like how I'm being counseled here. This is not emotional support. But if you feel like it's just no empathy coming from it, and empathy is understanding, or you feel like it's just not caring. You shared something with the person, you were down and you shared it with them, and then you feel worse after talking to them. You feel like what happened to you that's your fault. And it's like you got blamed, and you need support. You don't need to be accused of things and all of that. And this goes for the other way. Let's say you're happy. You just won something, or you met a milestone in your life, and then you want to celebrate with this person, but they got this attitude. They hating on your success. They don't want to congratulate you or be happy along with you. That's an indicator of envy, first of all, and then envy can turn into something where they may want to undermine you or hurt you or prevent you from growing. So you have to be careful when you see these things. So once again, always just know what you're supposed to have in a relationship. And if you see the opposite, that person ain't healthy, you ain't got no business being around them. So those are the first 5. Now, the other ones, human beings are supposed to support. You get these on your own for the most part, but autonomy. We talked about autonomy. We said that it's control over one's life, free will, self-expression, etc. If your so-called friend or relationship buddy or whatever is trying to control you, manipulate you in any kind of way, hold you back, tell you what you can be and what you can't be, that's an indicator of a toxic relationship. Friends let friends be free. You should be allowed to be who you are and make decisions and stuff like that without somebody saying you can't, and I'm gonna try to force you not to do that or manipulate you. That's not it. So if you see that happening and they're trying to fuck with your autonomy in some kind of way for their own weird insecurities, just know that that's a toxic person. They're unhealthy for you. But let's go to another one, meaning and purpose in life. That's something that also you have to kind of go for your own, and they support that. So yeah, let's say you decided what your purpose in life is and you have dreams of fulfilling that. And here come your so-called friend or acquaintance or whoever, and they're telling you can't do that. Or who you say you are or who you want to be, they're saying you can't be that person. That's an indicator of a toxic person. They're trying to inhibit you from being all you can be. All right, nobody should be doing that. They just shouldn't be doing that. So don't accept that. Another one here that we tend to work on for ourselves is the mind and body support. So I talked about a human need is we got to have sleep and sex and exercise, diet, clothing and shelter and all that kind of stuff. So let's say you're in a relationship with a person that doesn't want to have sex with you. That's toxic, especially if you're in a monogamous committed relationship, meaning you can't have sex with anybody else outside of that. This is a human need. And they're telling you, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, and they won't allow you to go out and have sex. And, while masturbation is an option, it's not the best solution to your sexual needs. So for them not to allow you to do that is an indication of toxicity or unhealthy relationship. And I know a lot of people are dealing with that, thinking that, well, they hit on every other cylinder. Emotional support, community, affection, and admiration. Yeah, they don't care about your sexual needs, though. That's a need. It's like your partner not allowing you to drink water and sleep and have food. Let's say they prohibit you from doing that in the household. That's a human need, and they're blocking that from you. You would say this person is unhealthy, that they're toxic, because they won't let you meet your needs, right? Same thing with sex. So, and let's talk about exercise, because exercise is important. Let's say you have a mate who doesn't want you exercising. That's a real thing. And usually it's because you getting in shape might attract other women, and now they have competition and they don't want to do that. So, but being in shape is healthy. Being in shape and exercising is what you need to prolong your life. They help your body function properly. And if somebody does not want you to do that and they want to persuade you from doing that, this person is toxic. This is why, once again, going back to like-minded people, you might have to hang out with people who are in fitness. If you're in fitness and you love working out and being in shape and healthy and eating right, you might need to hang out with people that do the same, because sometimes they may go into your refrigerator and talk about, ain't nothing in your refrigerator. Ain't nothing in your refrigerator. And you got nothing but fruits and vegetables in there talking about, what are you talking about? Ain't nothing in my refrigerator. They don't eat that stuff. They eat a lot of processed bullshit. But they looking at you like something wrong with you because you got a lot of greenery in your refrigerator. So that may be an incompatible relationship. Now, in some cases, people will respect you for eating well and may look at you as a example to follow. Some people will try to pull you down because they're not doing it. They're not eating right. So these are things to look at. And finally, if your friend upsets your safety and security, they're toxic, they're unhealthy. So we all need safety, we all need security. By being with them, it may lead to you getting arrested, or they can get drunk at times and do things that may be harmful to you or other people. Y'all end up getting into fights because of them. They disable safety mechanisms on things. They can be reckless at times. This may be an incompatible person. And so you got to keep that in mind. Like, wait a minute. This person is not as safe as I am. They don't practice safety and security like I do. Let's say that privacy is a part of that as well. You don't want your stuff out there because that's a security risk, right? So say, for instance, you share things with your so-called friends, but they tell everybody. That's an indicator of a person that's toxic. They're unhealthy for you. Anybody spreading your business when you made them a confidant is a person that's unhealthy. A person got but one time to do that to you, and you should be closing that relationship off. Okay? So I hope this has been a helpful video or audio if you're listening by audio, and these are the signs. You don't need to have a list of specific stuff people do. You just need to know exactly what safety and security looks like, what your autonomy looks like, mind and body support, emotional support. What does emotional support look like? What does community look like? And like-mindedness, attention, admiration, affection. Know what these things are, experience them, and I guarantee you, when somebody comes across that is not doing these things, you'll feel it, you'll know it immediately and be able to put them in a box. You don't need to remember a list of toxic signs and red flags and all that stuff. You ain't got to do all that. Okay? And finally, I just want to leave you with this. The reason why people stay in toxic relationships is because they're getting some of their needs met, and they feel that if they leave the person that they won't be taken care of, they won't be supported. And then that could be a true thing. Finding somebody else while you don't have anybody, it's hard. You may even become thirsty. So I would suggest people to recognize these things early before you get attached in committed relationships. And then if not, because you didn't have the game, you weren't knowledgeable of these things, that you start to transition to find people who support your human need. And that way, once you do, you can start to let go of these people immediately. And now you already got somebody that's ready to support your human needs. So that's all I got for you now. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for listening to the end. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can email me at neal@nealreal.com. You can also go to my website, NealReal.com. I encourage you to check out NealReal.com. That's NealReal.com. Or you can email me at neal@nealreal.com. Have a blessed day.